Hello, my future watchers, or co-creators, or whatever you want to call yourselves, if you ever exist. Welcome back to the Multiverse Research Station in the Forest Fabrication Wing. Um, we're a little bit late today getting started, mostly because um, I lost track of time. The watch we have here is apparently running on a different universe's time, which seems to have gotten us here a little bit later than 8 o'clock your world's Eastern Standard Time, which is unfortunate, partially because we're trying to change our sleep schedules here. Uh, if anybody looks at the streaming dates for these, yes, we have been absent for a little while. Part of that is due to, unfortunately, some mental health uh, issues. We've gone through some stressful stuff in the real world here, and we are getting a house ready to sell so we can move across the country. It's a decision that we should have made earlier. Would have saved us a lot of nights having our sleep really screwed up. Would have saved us a lot of mental health issues. Well, or at least got us started on um, the healing process and the finding of tools process for those way earlier. Also would have gotten us closer to family when instead of being isolated in a area from anybody we know who would actually come in and check up on us on a regular basis if they don't hear from us or see us. It's unfortunate that that's where we're at, but that's where we're at. Also, because of those things and lack of good sleep, we didn't have the energy, and we kind of forgot to get up on those days. So we are making a concerted effort for ourselves and for anybody else out there who will end up enjoying this or learning from this to get up off our ass and be here consistently. So yeah, and on that note, I'll hopefully remember to update the description on this, but we're going to try and make things a little bit more structured while they're still being freeform here on the channel, the Dr. Scribes Works channel. We're going to do the forest fabrications every I think we're going to try for every Tuesday and Friday in your universe. It's going to be trying for 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for now. Once we move across the country, well, that's going to change probably to Pacific Standard Time. And who knows where our schedule will lead for that. We might end up doing it in the morning. Who the fuck knows? That'll depend on work, school, if we choose to attend an academy, a trade school, or something. And then also our living conditions. Like if so, we've got somebody living with us who will not deal with us talking to ourselves late. Well, that might be a problem for us and them. So we'll adjust accordingly because we don't want to be rude cohabitants. Yeah. And on Tuesdays, while it's still free form, trying to give it some structure, we're going to try and have it be Technical Tuesdays. That's where we'll be mostly focused on following some of the things about the basics or technique. So while yes, that will include, some things like learning the Loomis method or doing some of the drawing drills live. It'll also be me working on contextualizing some of those basics so that they become a part of how I think about creating art or designs and drafts. Because one of the things that one of my artist friends talks to me a lot about is like, yeah, focus on the fundamentals, do those drills, draw figures, don't try and draw characters. Like all of these, hey, just do the basics first. It's very important to do. But some of the things that are the techniques that people prescribe to on how to do those basics, they're not how my mind automatically works for those. Uh, like the the method a lot of people use um, for drawing a figure, right? It's not how I view um, how you do it. Like they're talking cylinders, blocks, cubes, and whatnot. And like that's not. I don't think of the underlying geometric skeleton. I'm thinking of the form itself, how that line moves into this. Like say the let's say you have an arm. Let's say here. You know what? Let's do a quick little Google search for that. Well, no, actually, we're going to keep it in the. Actually, wait, I can pull up one of my old ones for it. So just a second while I open none of those. Okay, cancel. File recent. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the Mark Burnett stuff. Okay, so these are sort of like the flushed out from. So this is the overdrawing of the underdrawing as an underdrawing, as it were. But let's look. So like, yeah, here. I was more thinking of it as a slightly different manner, but right here, right? So you've got this. Oh, I might need to calibrate this. This curve line right here that will indicate your bent in the elbow. And you've got your, you know, little bits here and whatnot. And like I'm thinking of those individual lines or like how I want that to curve and then do that and whatnot. That's what I'm thinking about. Uh, Instead, what a lot of people have is, well, no, sorry, not a lot of people. So, um, one of the things that they'll have is, you know, this is a female form, so it's a little bit different than um, the males, but like they'll have, you know, here's the general bit of that. Here's a cylinder that comes off for that. Yeah, I know I'm not really drawing it as a cylinder, but yet, but well, you know, like that. And then that the fact that this cylinder comes off of it, right? So then they don't have to worry about the underbit. Yes, I'm going to control Z all of this so that it doesn't undo the work that I did before. But you know, then they've got this overlay of this one for this, and that's not necessarily how they're drawing it, but that's how some people will think about the pose in and of itself, and then they narrow down and draw what's inside of or around the cylinder. This is not super accurate to what it is, but you know, it is in many ways what it is. Um, you know, those geometric shapes that are either okay, I probably should have done it more like, you know, inside and whatnot, and then Here's this, and then here's this box. What would be, right? Like, I'm not thinking of those when I'm looking at these things. I'm thinking steps ahead where I haven't developed the habits or the way of thinking to do them correctly. I'm thinking about drawing the hand, not like placing the hand and whatnot. Like, I'm many steps behind and then simultaneously ahead of where some artists will be thinking. And you get used to it in the shorthands as you go along, much like any craftsman or whatever. Like, you're not gonna have to consciously think about it. Say you're a knitter, right? And that is a very technical and numbers based thing, right? Like, well, let's face it. If you know a knitter, you've seen patterns, it's a whole bunch of grids with ticks and other shorthands for knit, purl, drop a stitch, whatever, right? Well, there are some things that a knitter will do where it's like, oh, I know how to create this effect, like how to narrow, how to create ridges or texturing on it, or whatnot, or a crocheter for doing some things. And you know, at first, it's you don't really know how to do that, but you want to know how to do those specific things. But that's not going to get you to a complete object. And you've got the skill spectrum all the way up to, well, who are the ones who make those patterns, who test those designs, who push like the professionals in it, who can, in a lot of ways, skip that calculation step of it where they're having to think about it, of how many, and they just know, or it just falls into place, tic tac toe, or somebody who speeds through a Sudoku puzzle, right? Well, not everybody's going to be able to do that quickly or figure out the patterns, and so I need to start with the basics of the patterns for drawing as I am following these other things. So that's Technical Tuesday, where we're going to follow that kind of route of looking at those basics. Um, Sometimes it'll be me doing these fun bits here, where we've got uh, doing the tracing, or we'll be doing the uh, cylinder and whatnot methods that some people have. Some people also use like a ball for where those joints go. And that'll just be me maybe doing tracing drills of finding poses and then just forcing myself to go through those processes over it to make sure it sinks in. Um, and this also might be uh, sometimes when we take pub draw and we go through it focusing on these basics, which will be a little bit of a slower thing, but it is what it is. And we'll just talk through while we're doing it. As you can tell right now, we're talking through while we're not doing it. That will probably be more exciting. Then we'll have I guess you could call it freeform Fridays. um, the title designations we've got here are pretty basic, but what you gonna do? Basically, freeform Fridays. That one will be one of the ones where we do a little bit more of the initial thing that we were doing, which was following along with pub draw, or other little rabbit holes I want to go down. That will also be when you'll probably hear from Dr. Scribe, or you might hear from our darker partner out there, which I've alluded to, and I think the doctor has too, more than once. Um, and his his name is kind of a code name for him. I know that sounds silly because I mean, hell, you've got me over here. If you've seen my logo here before out on a thing or two, which I think it's only been on two things, and one of them's never been published or posted rather in a public forum. Uh, so there is that. Uh, so who knows? The thing is though, for him, he's our guy out in the out there. He'll also be the one giving you some of the less savory, more out there stories. Thankfully, most of those will be shorter. You'll get a few of the chapters of the stories, and then boop, they'll be gone. Um, but it is what it is. Uh, let's see. I have the name written down here somewhere. It's a current change that we had to make. His previous identity got burnt a couple of times, so he had to go through a whole new thing. Um, uh, but yeah, you've got me, Kai, here. I mean, yeah, I'm the fabricator general, and that's not a general rank. It's a descriptor. Um, but those of you who are fun of the childish joke that then got popularized by How I Met Your Mother. The whole saluting for the major problems or whatnot. You know, Fabricator General. But yeah, Kai Amarok here. You've got Doctor Scribe. Um, he's the director, so we're not really going to refer to him by his first name. We'll just refer to him by his, I guess, pen name, you might say. He's friendly with another person out there who is similar and goes by their sobriquet, Professor Quill. Um, and then you've got our. We'll have to work on the translation for the universe he's from for his rank and file out there because he's part of the more militant side of our operation here. Well, security really, because it is a dangerous multiverse out there. But Tenebrous. Uh, sorry. Well, okay. Some people will pronounce it Tenebrous. People pronounce it Tenebrick. Um, but yeah, he's out there doing his thing. Uh, yeah, and so that Freeform Friday, if we don't do a random live stream some other time, is when we'll be doing that. The call from the field or call from the lab. Um, it's going to be interesting. Um, and then eventually, if in your universe our substation ends up getting some crowdsourced funding, we might be doing streams a little bit differently. Might narrow it down to the technical Tuesdays, keeping those up, and those continue to be this, and then we might move um, to having Fridays be our supporter streams where things are, or you know, um, diverging the two streams where we'll have the stuff behind the, for lack of a better word, and I know some people don't like it, but the paywall, um, for more mature content or you know, inputs on current projects and whatnot, and then the general stuff that would be in front of the paywall, which would be who knows what, maybe even going through some books about like writing and whatnot, and then talking about it. Although I have a feeling, we might have to change the doctor's Vox box for that one because his voice might not be the best with that attenuation on it. But hey, it is what it is, and we're here now. So, we're gonna keep this a shorter stream this week. Uh, let's see what to do. What to do. Oh boy, we had a few things today that kept us busy, so we didn't keep up with figuring out exactly what to follow this week. Um, so it's going to be a technical Tuesday. Let's go up here, go to file. Good news is that our eyes, sorry, my, I keep saying our, my eyes are pretty much back to normal. So it's going to be a little bit easier from the health issues we were having earlier. Oh yeah, it wasn't just my um my mental health. There were some physical ailments that were going on, which we're going to deal with. Okay, so we have, oh golly gee willikers. Um, yeah, I said it. So the digital um, tabletop that we use for playing our tabletop RPG in our group, uh, which is thankfully like, okay. Let me keep going with what I was actually saying and not ADD my way around a topic. Um, and I need to calibrate this pen again. Um, anyways, the tabletop that we've got has a different navigation command than what Clip Studio has. There, it's um, basically it's a right click for the whole grab the screen and move, versus here, which is a space and click, left click. I'm one of those things that like you just do it, like yeah, space and click to grab a spot and then navigate. Let's see, pen calibration. I don't know if you guys will see this. Uh, nope, I'd have to do a screen grab. But it is important to calibrate your pens, especially if it's been off and not connected for a few updates and power cycles. Um, because sometimes you'll be just that little bit off, because things have reset or whatnot. Or at least that's my observation that that's what happens. I could just be crazy. Or there's another reason that it happens. Let's go with a pencil this time. Right? Let's go with a bright green. Why not? Okay, there's a big delay in this. That is one of the funny things about digital art. Uh, it's if you're so used to the instant feedback from drawing with a physical medium, um, then this kind of screws with you a little bit. If you're for some reason your system is like, hey, let's be a resource hog with these other things, and then you just have that lag. Whereas physical medium, you do a thing with your implement, and you just do. Uh, oh boy! All three of us here at the lab, uh, the three people you guys will interact with, anyways. Uh, we've all done our stint in the service, and a mutual friend of ours posted a thing. Oh god, this is funny. Uh, remember when your parents used to threaten you uh, to be sent to shipped off to military school when you were a kid just to scare you? Well, now look at you. You joined the military anyways, dumbass. Oh, now that is yeah. We're just gonna exit out of that social media platform because sometimes these other tabs and whatnot just need to be closed so that your rig doesn't have this problem. And it's weird how much an emulator can take up. Just a singular one, too. Okay, let's try this again. Let's see if we still got this lag. Okay, that's weird. Let's try it with a pen, see if it's... Okay, so why is the pencil lagging, but the pen is not? And the brush is right there, too. Yeah, I have to work. You can't see it. Yes, I know. That uh, takes away some of the effect. But those loop-de-loos, I was going as fast as I could. Well, not as fast as I could, as controlled and quickly as I could to try and make it lag behind my bits, my bits, my doodle there, and it was just barely doing it. So that's weird that the pencil, like here, I'm gonna in my head see how much of a second, if it's not more, a quick, really quick dash across the screen will do from not full corner to corner, but in this gray space you can see. Yeah, didn't even register it. So it's like half a second, maybe a quarter of a second, to oh god, for it to do its thing. Uh, I am sorry that I am distracted. I closed a whole bunch of tabs on a web browser, and there's a very schlocky sci-fi movie that showed up on my feed of stuff on one of these things. Um, and I had opened it, the little info page to see what it was about, and see, if this 80s movie would be any fun to watch. Um, and you'll get a kick out of the title out there. Um, Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity, released in 1987. Um, and like the little what you call it? The preview was like silently playing because my mouse hovered over there for a second. Um, and oh boy, some of that stuff was like that's pretty good for like what was probably a really cheaply made '80s movie. Like, that was a passion project for somebody, or somebody who had access to a whole bunch of different productions, like failed creature creations or concepts that got scrapped and were just put in a warehouse somewhere, that were probably really good, but the director or producer's just like, nah. But yeah, in the future, two slaves in a distant galaxy escape prison and crash land on a savage, strange planet. They meet Zed, whose hospitality attempts to hide the fact they are to be hunted for sport. And of course, I think the slaves themselves were two bikini clad ladies, we'll say. Um, and it was really funny. And there was the schlocky action that was happening on screen, and this like moment where it looked like a man was trying to be intimidating, um, and pulled out this really cliche looking switchblade. Like, a knife is still scary, don't get me wrong, but some of them just look silly, and that one did. Anyways, uh, we're gonna keep going here. This, like I said, this is gonna be a short stream. Most of it was an update and starting this. Starting next week, I will have a basics tutorial up for this, and I will have some of those drills that I'll be doing for the initial talking bit like this, where I will be just chatting while I'm doing some of the more menial sounds wrong, but the oh, I should get out of that. Like, I don't get why the pencil is so laggy, or why sometimes my pen forgets to acknowledge itself. Um. Anyways, yeah, it'll be fun. And who knows? Maybe one of these days, for those sort of things, I might pull one of those. Hey, copyrights have been dropped. Older movies, uh, schlocky or otherwise, to have on in the background while we do things. Oh wow, I jittered the crap out of that. Okay, so we're gonna try and do this. So I've got. Why am I having such trouble drawing? Oh, well, part of that is I'm drawing so close to the edge of it. That's a shitty circle, but it's a circle. Okay, so then, and this is for a, what is this? A 3/4 on look, I guess. Okay, so I kind of start it a little bit off of center. Uh, or, you know what? Because I pulled this solely from uh, what do you call it? Picture and not like an actual instruction booklet. Like, I don't know if this person goes in their method that they use, like the straight line up and then curve, which probably feels like I'll more consistently hit where I want, or if they go from up here down. Because right now I'm tempted to make too much of a curve, where this one, if you can notice right over here in this corner, as I obscure the bit that I'm talking about, like right here, how that goes quick to the straight line. It's not a short curve. Part of that is also like I'm thinking in my head curve, and not how quick the curve. So I just go to a default. With that for now. Okay, let's switch up colors again. This way I can kind of see how each step is feeling. Like visibly see. Let's go back to the blue for a second and just extend the shit out of that line. Because I can erase back once I get more of a feel for these sort of things. Okay. Let me take. Oh, there we go. Take this over here, which they kind of start at the same spot, but curving deeper to there. Okay. It's not great so far, but we're working on our scary Terry portions. Okay. Then we draw a circle here. All right. And then we kind of cut it in half. Well, not half, but yeah. And it's weird to do a foreshortened, because it looks like it's a foreshortened circle to me. Like, I think I'm trying to draw too much of an actual circle. Okay. So, whoop, I'm all over the place today. I also kind of fucked up my dominant hand, but it is what it is. Maybe at some point y'all see me see, learning to do this with both hands. Go to the purple like I was trying to do. Trace over this weird foreshortened circle. Okay. Kind of that. Not great, but hey, we're working on it. I'm allowed to futz around with it. Okay, that's shitty, but that's partially because this lower portion just feels off. Okay. That goes up to there. There. And this is me just going through pretty quick. And obviously not quick to a professional for hell sure. But then I'll pick apart how I went wrong on it. Because I can already see a few of them. The reasons I'm going wrong. Okay. You take this. Let's go to red for now. Okay. So they kind of come off of this here. Go to straight down. And then curves in to create that. Okay. Yeah, we can see that difference there. So this is me just trying to emulate that style of creating an underskeleton for this. And that, my friends, is not good yet, which is fine. There's a group of artists who do basically almost like sketch comedy with their art in a sense. Uh, the people over the Drawfee channel, and they've got a saying that I enjoy. I don't embrace it wholly, but it's delete your art. And they say that in a way, mostly because like uh don't be too precious with your art and be like, no, I must continue down this avenue. I must finish this piece or I must perfect this section of it. It's like, no, if it's not working, you can delete it, move on. Now, this is just drawing drills. This is not me trying to create a piece of art off of this. That would be different. But even then, don't be afraid to start over or start a section over or erase a section and alter it. All that stuff. Um, so that saying has really helped me out in art in general. Like me, even putting this out on the internet for people to be able to mock if they wanted to. Like that's that's a step, right? But let's see. Got a few different things here. Like I could have done this a little bit differently because if you look here, yeah, the basics is that it'll have that as a flat section, but then they oh, I see what I was not thinking about. And this is some of this about just making sure you pick up on stuff. This, well, that's a big old watt too wide. Coming down from here to create that little bit. I misaligned where that lines up. Ah, but yeah, creating that so that there's that. Okay. So there are a few bits like forgetting about that section. Um, this circling bit here, or sorry, the foreshortened circle here. The second one there that I have surrounded in colors. This right here, right? That I'm not good at drawing yet. Um, but what it does is create where the plane for the side of your face is, right? And then these fun curvy bits create the scoop where the face and the top of the head go, right? And this little fun bit here is like, oh, here's where the side of the chin where you actually see where the jaw actually is, rather than just this cheeky bits. Like those are they're bits that I can do. Like this scoop right here over where I'm doing stuff. Let's see. Let's go to this teal instead. Right. So like my scoop in comparison is much. Well, sorry, much shorter and bulks out right there. Right. Whereas this one has all of that space, all of that real estate for your hairline, your head, and all of that. And then like I morph it to where that's basically where it ends, and where this section here, which you know what? Here we'll color it in another in a different purple. Like this bit. Here, I'll zoom in. Another bit is also I'm drawing small. So like yeah, this bit right here, I am not doing so well. It just kind of blended into over here, taking it over, right? I don't want to delete an entire layer. Let's go back over to here. And so like here's your, why am I not just doing this with a bigger? Like there's your face plane. And we'll just darken it a little bit to give you like where hair could go. or at least start normally, you know? Boop, boop. I know, it's dumb. And no, it's not a face made out of hair. Then here you've got, you know, your your jaw and beginning of your hair area, right? And then back here, here's your green. Was that? No, that's I have to find a different language where green comes across as that, to where you've got like an ear sound in it, right? Like there are the canvases that I need to draw out with this process. So one thing I'll do, instead of trying to synthesize it right now, especially because we're going a little bit slower down uh, on our what you call it. Fuck, my brain can't work today. Anyways, let's see. Is this? Yeah, that's over the top of everything. Okay. Instead of synthesizing this off on itself, I'm going to try and trace over it, so like the whole process there. Uh, and you know what? We'll do it on the underdrawing section. Let's see. We'll go with red for it, and we will drop down the opacity to 69. Why not? And I hope that anybody who's watched this, there's a small percentage of you out there who have gone, nice. Because I did in my own head, and I'm the one who said it. Let's see. Oh, it's dark red. Okay. So there's that. Okay. Go for red for this one. And goes straight down. Okay. Then you've got, let's go for blue. To there. Okay. Let's go for a lighter blue. For, oh, because they erased it. Oh, oh my God. How did that? It's not that they edged it out. Okay. That's another thing where if you don't realize what's happening by just observation and without them actually telling you, you might miss it. Like somehow it's like, oh, hey, this has to stand. No, you just fucking erase it. Okay, so this goes from here at this kind of a curve until it gets up to there. Cool. That's how they did that. Then I drew. Oh, you know what? You don't even need to finish out that much. You just imagine it sort of being flattened out on one side. It looks like less flattened out than that. To where it becomes a lot more broad of a section. Okay, cool. Then get a little bit of that. Oh god, it's been a long time since anatomy class. Biological anatomy, where this would be described as, I think, a plane. You know, the one that it's not medium, whatever. The center spot. The hey, if a portcullis of razor wire cut you in half, Resident Evil style or whatever, uh, where it would be directly in the middle, whatever that one's called. And then it basically joins into there, into that initial line that we drew. Okay. Then you've got this, which is a straight line here to indicate where the start of the face is at the edge of the circle. The second circle. Cool. Okay. And then we'll follow the edge of this again. We'll go for green. Let's go for a more foresty green here. Are you up, over, straight? For that, to create that plane. Then, okay, so they've got this arrow here. I don't know. Sorry, we've got this arrow over here. I don't know what they're trying to indicate with that, but hey, it is what it is. But we'll do what I didn't notice before, which is erase this bit right here. So you have more of a cranial edge. And then your neckline swoops in into the back like that, back of your skull. Or you could, yep, okay. And then, guy comes in with a nose, eyes, where they're looking slightly below, but at least they've got the top third captured in that a little bit. Okay. Got your hairline going behind the ear. Let's give this guy some middle school spiky version of hair to where it's like, yeah, this is easy to draw and quickly shade in really shittily. And then they take that jaw, make it a little bit more square off, chop in there, meeting up at the base of the square there to get that little bit in. Okay. Okay. That ain't too bad. The S curve to indicate it's an ear. There's a guy who does shorts that I might use as the stuff. There's the indication of the Adam's apple. There. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, yeah. Could definitely do better on his hair, for sure. But who couldn't? Wonder how much of that is actually coming across. Let me look at the soundbar. Okay, I've got noise cancellation, not noise cancellation, but noise reduction, I guess, on my microphone setup here, so you're not hearing the scribble across the Wacom. Okay. Are. That is a lot more steps than a lot of other programs, text based or graphics based, that I have seen that contain that. Okay, so yeah, we deleted that, but that's because, again, drill, not really something that we're trying to majorly uh, make a masterpiece out of. Again, sorry that this is not really an entertaining or information or action based live stream. Um, but that's because, well, we're getting back into things. I don't even know how many weeks it was that I was absent. Three, maybe, like a whole month. I'd have to go back and check. Um, the doctor has also been not writing. He's got his own issues that he's dealing with, which are similar, if not identical, to mine. Um, which is joy in and of itself. Um, but scheduling, for those of you out there who are similarly afflicted with your attention being at a deficit, or people say that, attention deficit disorder, right? Which is its own thing. Uh, I'll grant you. And clinically, it's what it's called. Uh, but it's not exactly true because you can hyper focus for popcorns of time, but it doesn't mean that those popcorns time up every time to be at the same spot, same timing, same amounts for the same things over and over again. So what we're doing is building an actual schedule. Like there will be scheduled writing time. Yes, it's not exactly the most conducive to uh, just being able to write the most inspired of things, but it's what gets us started in building the habit. If eventually, say, our crowd force, crowdsourced funding kicks in and it's enough to literally support us, like, and preferably myself and say, uh, a canine or two, and with enough to save up and potentially meet somebody and go from there. Sure, that might be what I do full time. Uh, but we'll see if we ever get there, or if the writing's good enough that the crowd thinks we should go there. Um, Instead, right now, it's what we're doing to try and keep ourselves safe. And I'm like pulling a venom and like talking in a we thing. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna try and see where that goes. That's where the state of the writing of the reports are. You can tell by the stream that pub draw creations are a little bit behind. I haven't been doing them off screen yet. And also, I haven't been doing enough drawing drills myself because, yeah, it is what it is. And plus, I have to put the tablet away when showing the house to anybody. Um, Hopefully, this will sell for pretty penny. I'm hoping. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a bidding war on the house. That'd be amazing. Um, but yeah, we'll see where things go. We're keeping this stream to basically an hour. Yes, there's the lead-in time of the technical difficulties before. Um, we'll be a little bit better on staying on time. And also remember to put the backing track to keep a little bit of interest in, especially if there's any dead air. I forgot to turn that on. You can see it's been a while. Uh, we'll also endeavor to reduce the amount of times I do things like and as fillers because that's not exactly entertaining. That's no ad. That's just a pause that lets you know I'm thinking, but not in a very intelligent manner. Whereas just a pause and then continuing to talk. It's one of the reasons why some people will view certain politicians as better orators because they don't do fillers or they don't stammer or they don't launch into talking and then not already know what they're saying, right? Like take a and this is not me talking political, this is me talking solely based on oration skill. Uh, President former President Obama in your universe. Well, I did it again while I'm talking about it. He had a very distinctive speech pattern and spoke very well, but now let me be perfectly clear. He did not say ums, uhs, and whatnot. He had a cadence that allowed him to speak, talk, pause, think, speak, talk, pause, think, or think, pause, talk, whatever. For whatever, however you want to beat that out as if it were a piece of music. Uh, that's up to you. There's, yeah. Once you are consciously thinking about it, it seems to happen more frequently. Point being, we'll work on that. We'll work on having structure on the streams and hopefully reports out to at least the first chapter of some of these reports out to the masses so that they can get a little taste of uh, how we choose to write down and declassify these reports. We want to make them a little bit more personal rather than just lists of facts or summaries of plot. Uh, we want to also make sure that it's happening again. I can't stop. It's like verbal hiccups. The point is that we will attempt to make them good for you out there and continually improve. Just like we'll try and continually improve our fabrication skills in drafting up these characters that we've seen or these objects and whatnot. Skill is always perishable, but always honeable, like a blade. Anyways, stay curious, stay learning. Uh, don't have a sign off that I remember, but we'll work on that too. You'll have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on when you've come and found our live stream, and most likely after the fact. Let's hope this becomes a journey that we can take together. See you in the next one.